Good evening, YouTube. James from Feel the Burt back again to bring you another knife review. Sorry, it's been over a week since the last one, but I am a normal guy. I have a job. The YouTube thing comes separate. Been a bit ill, things get in the way. But now I'm here and I have a brother to show you. If you're wondering what all this stuff in the background is, I see it on everyone else's YouTube channel, so I thought I'd join in. Don't quite know what it's all about, so in mine you can have a Lego man, 5 shilling coin and a lump of flint. Hope I'm doing that right. This week I have to show you the Brother 1508, and it is a cracker for the money. Really, really good knife. And I don't just say that. A little bit about the channel. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't have anybody pay for my knives. I buy them all for myself so that I can give you an honest review if you're thinking about buying one. Not sponsored by any companies. Don't get any knives sent to me for free. I don't do any deals with companies to provide biased reviews. I tell it how it is, essentially. So some people may switch off when I say brother. Yes, it came from AliExpress. No, it's not cheap. Yes, it is very well put together. So put aside any preconceived ideas you might have about Chinese knives while I talk you through it. So this is, as I say, the 1508. It is a carbon fibre handle, real carbon fibre. In actual fact, it's the nicest carbon fibre out of any of the knives that I own. Not usually a huge carbon fibre fan, particularly when it's like that on the Civivi. Yeah, not that interested. But this one does look very nice. I don't think you'd call that marbled, would you? It's not shredded. Someone with more knowledge than me could probably tell you what the correct term for that is. But this handle, the carbon fibre is gorgeous. You can't feel any of the pins. It's all nicely finished. The fit and finish on this is definitely the best out of any of the traditionals that I own. And I would go as far to say I'd probably put it up against anything, really. To give you an idea, I have a lot of slip joints. I mainly review modern slip joints on this channel because I actually use my knives. I buy them all for myself, and I want to review knives that I actually carry, not just stick in a drawer. And I got all of my slip joints out, held them up against the light with a light bulb behind here, and looked through to see if you could see light coming through from behind the back spring even, to see if how well fitting that was, to see if there was any gaps. Every single one of them, and I mean the Civivi, the Viper, the Boker, all of them, every single one of them, apart from this brother, had light coming from behind the back spring. That shows you how nicely this is made. As I say, you can't feel the pins. Nice dagger shaped shield, no gapping around that shield at all, unlike the £100 Boker, which a lot of people have complained about. No such problems on this one. Transitions from the scales or covers, if you're going to be pedantic, to the bolsters, seamless. You can barely even feel it. And look at that matchup between the blade and the back spring. You can barely even feel that. It is perfectly flush, as is the back spring. It is a beautifully made little knife. This is about 30 quid. That's what it cost, delivered from AliExpress. And I can't think of anything else around this kind of price range that you would get this kind of quality in. I know people have their preconceived ideas about China. There's a lot of people that won't buy products from China, whether that's because they're undercutting companies in their home countries or whether it's, you know, a bit of old school racism. It's that people think that China can't produce something of good quality, that they're all a bit backwards and they can't put it together. But let me tell you, China are producing some of the nicest knives in the world at the moment. Anyone who knows, Riat is a prime example. This knife is beautifully made. As I say, it's the only one that doesn't show any light past the back spring. Everything matches up perfectly. All the transitions are perfect. The walk and talk, listen to this. That's a strong back spring. There's only one knife that I have, which is the Viper, which I would say is just a little bit stronger. This is stronger than everything else. I'd say it's an 8 or 9 on the back spring. That lockup, you are not going to accidentally close that. It's up there with anything, really. Moving from the handle and the back spring and that brilliant action before I cut myself behind the camera, you've got that lovely 3-inch, 2 3/4 on the cutting edge of VG10 stainless steel. And the way that people talk about stainless, well, particularly VG10 at the moment, it's almost, because it's come down in price, it's become much cheaper for manufacturers to use, it gets described almost as a budget steel now. Let me tell you, VG10 is not a budget steel. It's a high-end Japanese stainless steel. If you've had a few knives in VG10, you'll probably know at a very low level, at almost a kind of microscopic level, it's a very fine steel. It's easy to sharpen and it takes a wicked edge, like a razor's edge. So I'm a big fan of VG10. I wish people would use more of it. Now that it's come down in price, I don't think there's much excuse. I'd love to see the likes of Rough Rider moving up, using more something like VG10 instead of their 440A. It's great edge retention. Yes, it's not one of the latest and greatest, the super expensive ones, but let's be fair, this is going to be perfectly capable of doing anything that I want to do in a day. And when you do need to sharpen it, it's easy enough to do. Far better edge retention than stuff like 440A or what have you, talking another level up. So a lovely, the shape of that blade as well, that Wharncliffe design, really picky point, needle-like. I mean, if you want to do fine work with that, that is very, very precise. This reminds me in the shape of the Rough Rider Wharncliffe work knife, but this is made to a much higher standard. I love the Rough Rider version. It's cheaper than this, but for an extra tenner or so, definitely, if you've got the option, check this one out. I love that really sharp, fine Wharncliffe point. And from the pictures that I saw when I originally bought it, it was side on like this. It's actually thicker than I thought. It's much thicker than the Rough Rider work knife in blade stock. It's a flat grind, thin enough behind the edge. Not that that matters to everybody, but a really nice, usable blade. It's non-threatening to non-knife people, isn't it? It's, the traditionals tend to be better for that kind of thing, but it's just the overall look of it. For its price point, it looks far more expensive than it actually is. To give you an example, if I put this up against, come on camera, if I put this up against the Viper Key, in micarta. What else have we got? Oh, in my pocket. The Lion Steel Best Man. Another lovely knife. M390 titanium micarta. This is M390 micarta. These are both £130 knives. That's 30 quid. It doesn't look out of place, does it? Doesn't look cheaper, doesn't feel cheaper. If you put it in the hand, you wouldn't know it was any cheaper. It just amazes me how they can manage to do that for the price. I know that irritates some people. For me, I'm just quite thankful that things like that exist, because let's face it, not everybody has got 130 quid to go spending on a pocket knife. And for most people, is the difference between VG10 and M390 really going to affect them day to day if they're honest? I mean, I'm not talking about the collectors who, you know, buy knives, put them away in a drawer, discuss the properties of the steel, and then just bring them out for a circle jerk every now and again. I'm talking about actual real world use. VG10 is a high-end steel, however it gets described by people that are trying to sell you expensive knives, or people that are trying to justify why they spent the extra on the latest and greatest. VG10 is a high-end steel. It was used in kitchen knives at the top end for a long time. Up until fairly recently, it was much more expensive. Now it's come down in price. So this is a really useful pocket knife, particularly for the money. For £30, price-wise, what else are you going to get for that kind of money? Real Steel Luna. Okay, it's a good knife. G10, D2, nothing particularly special about it. Feels a bit hollowy. It just doesn't feel in the same class as that. Brother have done a fantastic job, and if their other offerings are anything like this, then I will be buying more of them, certainly. I think I've covered pretty much everything about this. Handle, blade, the back spring, the overall quality of it. If there is anything that I have left out in my haze of a Sunday night, then do let me know. Maybe size-wise. Okay. So similar kind of blade length to the Luna. As I say, blade length about 2 3/4 inches. Again, with the Best Man, pretty much the same. It's a VV Trailblazer. Also almost identical in the cutting length. Let's not see that. So I say it's about a 9 in the back spring. You are not going to accidentally close that on your fingers. That is a solid back spring. Beautiful knife. While I'm here, I just want to say welcome to the new subscribers. There's another 10 since I last checked. So if there's anything that you guys want to see that I have not covered in this, or you have suggestions for other videos, things that you want to see, then do let me know. Obviously, if you're watching this, you like the video, and you haven't yet subscribed, please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I will endeavour to make more videos. I don't always manage to make one a week. Obviously, I don't buy knives in order to make YouTube videos. I buy knives because I love knives, and I carry one every day, which is why the majority of what you'll see on my channel is UK legal slip joints. It seems like a rare thing nowadays. People start off doing a similar thing to what I'm doing, and then they get given deals through companies, or asked to be the reviewer for certain companies, and they buy and then they sell immediately, and they trade just to get content. I am never going to do that, because the YouTube thing, you know, is just secondary for me. I have a life outside of that. It doesn't take up the whole of my identity. I'm happy if I can provide some useful reviews for people if you're thinking about buying these, but I'm certainly not going to put out the begging bowl just asking for knives purely so I can create some content. There is enough knife reviewing YouTubers out there. Hopefully I can be something different by offering you unbiased, truthful, individual reviews. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I will tell you if I think they're rubbish, but I'm certainly not going to just buy knives to create videos. So I hope this is of use to somebody. Hopefully I'll get the next one out to you within a week. If you liked this, please drop me a like so that I know, and I will continue making more for you. Hope this is of use. Ta-ta.